Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Inko and this is Mordheim, City of the Damned. We've moved on to another day. It is Bakkertag, third Flugzeit of the year 2000 apparently. So we've received a new shipment request from Murder Lord Snicket. Visit the Smuggler's Den to find out more. This is where the Warpstone comes in. So, you can see here we have 10 days left. 10 days to do what, you may ask? Well, we have to deliver 100 weight of Warpstone within those 10 days. So it is very important that you play your missions and gather as much Warpstone as you can. You will use this Warpstone to fund your missions. There are three factions on the left. The primary faction is your, well, primary faction. It's the story faction, basically, that you will do missions for, etc., etc. So Murder Lord Snicket will eventually give us story missions. These other two factions are really only factions on paper. I don't think they give you missions, not that I've encountered anyway. If they do, please leave a comment, correct me, because as far as I know, they don't give you any missions. The only function they have is within this menu with the Smuggler's Den. So, first and foremost, you have to send Warpstone to your primary faction, and if you have any left over, you can send it to these secondary factions, which will give you some bonuses on the right. Bonuses. I turned into Sean Connery there. Would Sean Connery be interested in Mordheim, City of the Damned? I don't know. You can hit women in it, so he would probably be all over it. Do you guys ever see that interview with Sean Connery where he basically says he hits women? I'm a bit misty on the actual quote from the video, but the sentiment is, I think it's right that you hit women, which I gotta side with Bill Burr on this one. There's probably situations where it's okay to hit women. I don't know. This is a weird tangent. We were talking about sending Warpstone to people that live in a place called fucking Cutthroat's Den and Black Pit Settlement, which is a weird thing. Why would you choose that name for yourself? And then all of a sudden we're talking about Sean Connery hitting women. I don't know. Anyway, you can see here the different values of the different chunks of Warpstone you find. For example, fragments, they're only worth 1 weight. 5 crowns and 1 reputation, so they're not nearly as good as shards, which are worth 5 times that, and clusters are worth 3 times shards. So a cluster is worth 15 fragments, and it is worth 3 shards, etc., etc. So you can really see that you need to be sure to collect clusters before shards, shards before fragments, etc., etc. Having said that, though, they're all important. So this is a quick overview of the Smuggler's Den. Within one mission, we've collected nearly half the weight we need to appease Murder Lord Snicket. We'll take a look at the shop here. We collected a shit ton of stuff that we don't need last time, because we can't use it. We cannot use a great sword because our troops are far too weak. We can't use bows because apparently we're far too fucking dumb for that. Staves as well. Hammers we cannot use. We can use swords and pendants. We don't really need the shuriken. I don't use the shuriken because they're more often than not more hassle than they're worth, I find anyway. We've got a consumable by the name of Greta's Boon, which increases perception tests and trap resistance. We'll hold on to that. We probably won't use that ever, but there's no sense in selling it at this point. We don't really need the cash. We're doing quite well. So yeah, you can see we sold all those items we gained from the mission, so we've pretty much broken even at this point. If not, we're, in the pink. Or in the black, I guess. Whichever one is above 0. I think in the black it's above 0. Okay, so we have the possibility to purchase heavy armor and light armor. Some of our troops cannot utilize heavy armor. The majority of them cannot. Our Warp Guard can, but it will reduce their dodge chance, and that's really the only defense our troops have at this point because we haven't put any points into any skills for like parry or anything like that. Light armor we could probably get away with... We could buy that, put it on Tailclaw, our leader. So, you know what? We'll buy a suit of light armor. We'll give it to our leader, as he can wear light armor, yes. And I think we can get away with it because he has quite a high dodge chance and quite high initiative anyway. So you can see here that clothing as an armor gives plus 10 to initiative. So he is speedier wearing no armor rather, than he would be wearing light armor. Although light armor technically does not put you in the negative, it gives you an an initiative neutral bonus of 0. So technically by putting on light armor we are losing 10 initiative, but light armor does not actually have a negative value on it, if that makes sense to you. This will increase his armor absorption, so he'll take 10% less damage. And this will reduce his chance to complete jump tests, climbing, etc., etc. But he will probably not be doing as much climbing as Throat Cutter, so I'm not too concerned about it. Although we can give Throat Cutter the armor, and it probably won't make much of a difference either because his initiative is very high. And in addition, his fighting claws give him a plus 6 to climb tests. So he would probably be okay with light armor, but we only have one suit. Eventually we'll give our warp guards heavy armor, but as I said, their dodge is only like 30% as is. So reducing that by 20%, I mean, it's a little cruel. Especially when you get to like Scuttle Greyfur. He has no defense aside from parry, which he'll eventually spec into. We can increase his parry chance eventually once we unlock some skills. But for now, we have to do another mission. We have a mission here to gather Warpstone rather. And then we have another mission here to capture the idol of an enemy clan. So, in this mission, our secondary objective is to collect more than half of the Warpstone. And I think that's a pretty good mission. So we'll launch and deploy. And yeah, we have to gather and secure 55% of the Warpstone. It looks like our warband rather has been scattered, unfortunately, but that's just fine.
And deploys near their wagon.
Well, it looks like our warband has been deployed for us because we've been scattered. I think we were looking in the nearby buildings for materials and we were scattered, and we have to defend now, which is crappy. It looks like our heavy units are in this building over here, whilst all of our light and quick units are in this big church thing, but there's a massive pile of Warpstone right next to our spawn, which is great. We just have to hurry and secure the location before the enemies arrive, like I said, usually within a turn or two. And there's all sorts of scavenging found within our spawn, for example, fighting claws and shuriken, which is really great. So we'll take the claws so that maybe, I don't know, we can give them to probably anyone else in our warband. I don't remember who can use fighting claws. But anyway, we want Throat Cutter to make his way out to the Warpstone. Look at that. It's right next to our fucking spawn. So we'll get him to gather a shard.
Objectives updated.
I think we've got this. If we gather all of these nodes, we've completed the secondary objective. And that's great because when you complete secondary objectives, you actually are given even more equipment and warpstones. So
objectives.
We'll put this guy in an ambush stance, and he can hold down the fort around this wall, I guess, for the time being. It looks like we're fighting chaos. And as I said, we need to gather all of our forces together before we are attacked by the enemy. So I'm a little worried about the Greyfurs, first and foremost, because the potential for them to get surrounded and flanked and attacked all on their lonesome is probably pretty high. So we got Skit Stab here. He's going to maneuver inside and make his way towards some of this salvage. Look at that. Money. So we found some crowns. Usually you find like 20 plus crowns when you do find crowns, or at the very least I do. I don't know about your guys' luck. It might be crappier than mine. I don't know. But anyway, we just found 12 crowns, which may very well pay for all of our upkeep for this mission. We need to hurry and get Tail Claw out by Throat Cutter, just in case the Chaos try to corner him. It looks like it's Nurk Greyfur's turn, though, before anyone else, surprisingly. And there's not really much in the way of loot or Warpstone between him and our allies. So we'll try to get him to come around the back way, just in case. It looks like it's going to be a much longer route than I had anticipated. So we'll send him back, and we need to be careful not to trip over any traps, as that will reset all of our movement points. Okay, so we'll get Nurk to instead head through the building, and maybe he can shack up with Skit Stab or Scurry Tail Claw or any number of these assholes. I think there's salvage in the floors above, but getting up and out of there is a big hassle. So well, you know what we'll do? We'll get Scurry Tail Claw to utilize the verticality of our movement points. I don't even know. Okay, no. Well, let's try to re-evaluate. Okay, so our first point is here. It's probably best we drop one here. There we are. Can we make it up the stairs without losing a point? Yep, we have done. And now we can just kind of scout around, checking for loot. If we look at the map, we'll get a better idea. There's one here, and probably one here as well. Which is where exactly? Oh god, see, this is why I hate this building. It's very confusing to get in and out. And we do need to be careful of traps, again, because it would reset our movement points and just totally fuck us up. Just completely fuck up our shit. So, we gotta be careful, is what I'm saying. In a very R-rated manner. I'm failing to see any of this loot. Okay, well, there's this here, and that there. You know what, we'll expend a turn to get Scurry Tail Claw to find some crowns. We just need to be sure that we have enough inventory space to collect all of the Warpstone required. I was hoping we could do both chests this turn, but it does not seem to be the case, so this was actually a really big waste of time. Should not have done. Got a little bit selfish. Well, not selfish. Greedy, rather. Got a little bit greedy. And I may have doomed some of my ratkin to death. I don't know. That's fairly dramatic, but you never know. Could be the truth. Unfortunately for us, Scuttle Greyfur has begun his turn up in the bowels of this building here. So we've expended a lot of movement points just getting him out. And he's on the wrong fucking side, which is a big problem. Okay, so here we go. We'll bring him out this way, being careful of potential traps, and boom. Okay, so he's a few turns away from being safe, I would say, but we'll put him in an ambush stance out here, just in case. I don't know. We have not yet spotted the enemy, but I think probably next turn they'll be on top of us. So we gotta consolidate before then, I would hope. We've got to gather 7 more Warpstone nodes
A new round has
before we
started.
complete our mission. Where are these guys? We have yet to spot any of them. Their cart is way over here, so there's probably there's probably a few in these buildings here, directly across from us. But as far as the rest of them, I'm not sure. You can most definitely bet that there are enemies near their cart. So we'll keep Throat Cutter here to guard this wall, just in case they decide to get fresh and come around. Skit Stab is going to have to reinforce. But he's got to go the right fucking direction to do it. Okay, well, we're already on the way. We'll get him to... Motherfucker, look at that. We just tripped a trap right where we need to be. And we've wasted a movement point in doing so. Can we pick up any Warpstone without wasting a point? We can. So we'll pick up a fragment, filling out his
Objectives updated.
inventory. And we'll have to be sure to get the Greyfurs to pick up the clusters and the shards. I just wanted to, you know, not waste a strategic point just moving to a Warpstone node. But we'll get him to start an ambush stance in the corner here. Look at this. We've got 4 Chaos assholes moving before we move anyone else. Really crossing my fingers that they don't just pop around the corner and scare the hell out of me, because that would really put a wrench in the whole works here. Maybe we could do some scouting? Potentially? Possibly? I don't know. As long as we get all of our rats within the general vicinity of each other, I think we'll be okay. I really do. Speaking of, we'll get Greyfur on the case fucking immediately. He will grab the big Kahuna. Well, we've wasted a point grabbing that fragment.
Objectives updated.
But he's going to go for the big Kahuna and grab the cluster.
Objectives
And also the
updated.
next shard. I think there's another shard just off to the right here, which is marked for the other Greyfur brother.
Objectives updated.
And we just need to pick up 3 more of these Warpstone fragments, and we are good to go. Where would be a good spot for Greyfur to set up an ambush position? Let's put him right next to Throat Cutter. There we go. So we are just fucking roaring ready for these assholes to come popping out. And you know what? We'll just, since we're up here, we'll spend a turn. What a waste. We could pick up 2 items, but they're only worth a couple crowns. And we need to get... Oh shit, you know what? This actually worked out quite well. Scurry Tailclaw is overlooking the rest of our troops. And you know, we could leave him up here, actually. We could leave him up here in a Overwatch capacity. Look at that. He's already spotted 2 of these Chaos dipshits. Where are they, though? He spotted them, but for the life of me, I cannot see them myself. Because they're kind of being shitty over there. So you know what? We know where some of them are. We've spotted 3 of them. They're going to be coming around this wall, as we predicted. We just need to get Scuttle Greyfur there. And he might actually have to go the long way around just to ensure that he doesn't get, you know, ambushed or anything. So we'll keep Scurry Tailclaw up here. But we want to kind of keep him back so he doesn't get shot. We'll put him in an ambush stance just for the hell of it. You never know where these guys are going to come from. I've done that. I said, you know what? I don't need to put anyone in ambush stance, and then, like, some fucking Sister of Sigmar pops out of the nearest broom closet and just clubs my rat to death. I'm like, Jesus. Sister Amelia, you didn't have to go so berserk on that guy. I mean, come on. He's just a regular old rat, you know? Like, he didn't do anything to you, really. Not personally, anyway. Okay, so we've got... Actually, hold on, let's see. I'm not so sure about that. We've got Scuttle Greyfur in the house by his lonesome, actually. And it's entirely possible that he will get attacked by a marauding... Well, marauder, basically. So I think we'll just put him in the corner here in an ambush stance. I guess if he gets attacked...
A new round has started.
Scurry Tailclaw can rush to his aid. Throat Cutter will... We have filled his inventory. We have. We will keep him in an ambush stance just to freak the fuck out of anyone coming around that corner. Skit Stab, likewise, his inventory is full. Yes, he will also ambush. And now we just have to wait for the chaos to come around the corner this turn. Ogian is all about it. Here he is. And look at that. Throat cutter is missed entirely. Ogian is just going to lay into him, though. Jesus. But we can counterattack. And we shall do. Don't miss, though. There we go. So we can attack this guy in the rear with... Oh, my word. I feel like Throat Cutter is going to get charged and possibly knocked out just this turn because he's been spotted. There's a bunch of chaos right there. They're going to encircle him, knock him out, all that good shit. I don't know where this hero is, though, so maybe that's our saving grace. The hero is too far away to be effective, but if we can knock out the leader and the hero, that would be great. Here comes Koerbl, and he is going to do nothing, apparently. He's going to try to ambush this other side of the... I don't really know what's going on there. But I'm scared to go scouting with Greyfur because he'll get ambushed by that Bowman piece of garbage. Okay, you know what we'll do? He went into Overwatch. Of course. Of course he did. That makes way more sense. But we'll charge this guy with Greyfur, I believe. Yeah, okay, we'll charge him with Greyfur. Oh shit, we surprised Koerbl. Koerbl's space program has been fully surprised. We can get Scurry Tailclaw on the case here. He can see the whole situation, so he knows exactly what's going on. All the rest of the chaos have decided to hang back in these buildings here, which is an odd decision. So we'll get Tailclaw to come out, attack the enemy leader. May as well do. Let's see. So look at that. He landed just fine. His light armor didn't hinder him in any way, shape, or form. And now we can charge Ogian, or Ogian. I'm thinking it's Ogian, much like Orion, the constellation Orion. But there we go. We failed a charge, and we don't have enough offense points to attack him again. So we're going to have to wait for Jan Peter to come out. Bit of a weird name. It's very androgynous. Is he a Janet? Is he a Peter? No one really knows. I'm hoping, though, that Scuttle Greyfur will be able to even up the odds here and charge into anyone. Maybe we can charge into Koerbl and take him out this turn. That'd be lovely. Get a nice crit on him. Regardless, my word, we've just kicked the shit out of Koerbl immediately. Regardless,
a new round has started.
We have surrounded and outnumbered both of these chaos dickheads, and that will allow us to force them to pass a check. Although I think Lurks and Throat Cutter is going to have to disengage here so that he doesn't get knocked out. And we can put him right next to... This is a tough one. Yeah, we'll put him right next to our leader, and we'll get Skit Stab to charge their leader so that we may continue to outnumber. I just don't want Throat Cutter to get... Oh my word. Skit Stab, you son of a bitch. You charged him, you charged Koerbl, and you put him out of action. What are the chances? Oh my word. Now we've freed up all sorts of resources. We just have to be sure that the incoming chaos here, for example, Wade, is going to attack Greyfur, who is dodged like an absolute legend. He's a fucking hero, a real human being. The enemy hero is not really doing anything. I have to say, the enemy AI in these past two missions has been inadequate, I would say. I've had... Oh my fucking god. Scuttle Greyfur charged with a halberd, and this guy said... Koerbl said, you know what, I'm not having any of it. I will wield my very own two-handed weapon and do unto thee as you have done to me, or something like that. And that is a big fucking sword, too. He's going to be feeling that one in the morning. Nurk Greyfur is going to be feeling that one. Scurry Tailclaw, however, will be sure to finish off Wade in such a fashion. You know, we'll charge into Wade just to tie him up. I think by the time we knock out Koerbl, the match will be over, probably, due to a rout. But you never know. We might get embroiled into a turn-long melee here, but I'm pretty confident that we can knock these guys out with Throat Cutter and Scurry Tailclaw free. Scuttle Greyfur will knock out Koerbl right now. There he goes. Dodge fail, I'd say. Took him out at the fucking legs, just swept him. And then we can force a test on Wade.
A new round
which is a really
started.
Vanilla name for a chaos dude. I mean, he is technically like a physical manifestation of chaos, and that's the name they gave him. Wade? Really? Really, dude? You sound like you should be in a High School Musical, like a fucking play or something. I wonder, can we get around to the rear side of Wade here, like so? No, we're not quite in that circle far enough, so we'll have to get Throat Cutter 2. Set up another ambush, I guess. We'll come to the far side here just to ensure that no one gets wise on us. You know what we need to do, though? We need to collect some Warpstones. So we need to get one of the Greyfurs involved. Whoever doesn't have a full inventory. Like Skit Stab, we know has a full inventory. Can he potentially... Where's our... Ooh, motherfucker. I should have seen that coming. Where's our wagon? It's way the hell down there. It almost doesn't seem worth it, but at this point, we've come this far. We'll just set up an ambush stance. I completely neglected to pick up that Warpstone. And oh, you know what it is? Wade is a possessed, so he does not have to do a test. An alone check kind of thing, because he is a certain type of character. I can't quite recall what that character type is, though. Regardless, we'll lay into him with Nurk here for 27 points of damage. We'll get our leader, Tailclaw, to do a bit more damage. We don't want to knock him out. No, we want to leave just enough health left that we can take him out next turn. And put a swift end to the mission. But first, we want to disengage with Scuttle here. He's going to pick up some Warpstone. Who is this asshole? Oh, he's got a bow as well. Man, these guys are just useless. They're trying to like get a good vantage point to shoot. But at this point, really, you just need to, you know, pick up your balls and do your duty, draw your sword, etc., etc. Okay, so we'll use Scuttle Greyfur to pick up a shard.
Objectives updated.
And then we need to pick up 2 more fragments. And then we've done really well. So we'll head over here just to use 1 point.
Objectives updated.
I'm sure somewhere else there's more shards and crystals and all that good shit, but we don't have any time nor the patience to hunt those down. So next turn, we will put a swift end to this mission by... I would say we'll charge with Lurkson and knock Wade the fuck out. Here we go. You never stood a chance. Sorry, Wade. Buddy old pal, you never stood a chance. We can even loot to see what they got. Nothing. Nothing worthwhile, basically, is what they have. Because they're dirty chaos scum who would probably live in the sewers if they weren't owned by the Skaven. But anyway, we may as well put Lurkson fucking anywhere and end our turn, because I'm fairly certain that on the next enemy turn they will have to do a test and they will fail. Morale test. There you go. They've routed. Because we put 3 characters out of order, and we didn't even lose 1 ourselves. Look at that. We gained 2 blue consumables, madcap mushrooms, and a spear, unfortunately. But we managed to collect 15 crowns and just a huge amount of warpstone. So this was a very successful mission. I would wager that we've gathered another 40 or so weight in warpstone.
Nice.
All enemy.
Which is great. Filch is just driving me nuts. He's just going on and on and on. Oh yes, we also get a huge amount of experience for finishing optional objectives. 3 experience, which is the same amount of experience you get for everything else in the mission. So, you can see that completing those objectives is worthwhile, if at all possible. Lurkson Throatcutter has received a huge amount of experience for putting enemies out of action and also being the MVW.
Fantastic.
Surprisingly, Scuttle Greyfur has received a level and a huge amount of points that we will dole out. Skit Stab as well has gained a level. Wow. And a huge amount of points. Nurk Greyfur, unfortunately, he didn't put anyone out of commission, so he didn't receive anything. Our warband has gained a level, so we are now a level 1 clan, which allows us to hire 1 more henchman, so that means we can get another Skit Stab. Our idol buff effect has increased. That's, as I mentioned, like when you pray to your idol, you receive a buff. We received a bunch of items that we can't use, luckily enough, so that means we can sell some. And we've gained just a shit ton of warpstone. Let's see. We went from 40 to 82, so we completed... we gathered 42 weight worth of warpstone. And we've gained a skill point in our veteran system because I guess we completed a task. That task was tactical victories. Nice. Okay, so we have a skill point that we can put into our veteran skills. And we can get just a shit ton of skills also. We can get Evaluator. Reduces the buying price. Explorer. Reduces scouting. Haggler increases the selling price. Merchant increases the chance of sales. Negotiator. Scholar. Possibly, do we want a contact? 5% chance. See, these... I would like to get these, but unfortunately our pool of items that we can use is so low anyway that we have to be very specific in what we pick. And the chance is so low as well, it's almost not worth it to say pick something like one of these contacts over something like Merchant or Haggler. I think Haggler is probably a good one. We'll get more gold from selling stuff. In addition, we can also upgrade our current skills. I think I just did that. No. Okay, reduces hiring cost, reduces treatment cost, and we don't want any of that. I think we will get Haggler, so maybe we can get more gold out of the shit we sell. Not bad at all. We will quickly pay off all of our troops and sell our shit. For example, we can't use a flail. We can't use a hammer, so those are really not worthwhile either, just the gold. We can sell a pistol. We can sell clothing, but we won't. We can sell some of these consumables. We've got an antitoxin. Increases poison resistance. Madcap mushrooms increase melee hit chance. And interestingly, increases the chance to roll permanent injuries if you get knocked out. So megalomania, if you get knocked out whilst you're on madcap mushrooms, you may wake up to become a megalomaniac, which is crazy. So these consumables are pretty good to sell, but I'm just going to hold on to them for now because I can't really justify selling them when I don't need the gold. You never know, maybe one day they'll come in handy. So the only other ranged weapon we can use aside from shurikens are warp lock pistols. So our heroes can use those warp lock pistols. And they're very useful. I could buy one now. I don't really see a point in it though. So I think before we end the episode, we'll just very quickly put some points down. We can put a point into toughness for Scurry Tailclaw, which will increase his wounds and his resistances. It will also increase his warrior rating, which I should go over very quickly. This rating, it's exactly that. It's a way to rate the value and strength of your troops. The collective rating of your troops is the rating of your warband. The higher the rating of your warband, the higher the rating of the enemy warbands you meet in missions will be rolled. So an average difficulty mission will probably have a warband of the same rating as you, whereas higher difficulties will have higher ratings, obviously, etc., etc. You get it. It's pretty simple. If you don't get it, I'm sorry. You probably got to go back to school. I don't know what to tell you. We can put a point into alertness, intelligence, or leadership. As for Scurry Tailclaw right now, it's probably best we put some points into leadership, which will increase his morale. So we'll have a wider morale pool, but the morale impact from him getting knocked out will be less than what he adds to the pool. So the more morale you have, the easier it is to absorb losses, essentially. And since he is our leader, we'll put some points into leadership so that we don't rout so easily. There we are. Much the same with Lurkson Throatcutter. He is a hero, so we want to put points into leadership eventually. But it's probably best if we put points into either alertness or intelligence. Intelligence will increase his chance to pass mental conditions. That's not something we really have to deal with right now. If we increase alertness, that will increase his initiative. He has really high initiative already, but it can always be higher. I think we ought to dump some points into leadership just to begin with anyway. We may as well do, because we don't really necessarily need much of anything else. We'll put another point into toughness for this guy, increasing his wounds. You get a lot more wounds when you increase in level. For example, you can see Greyfur has 120 wounds, whereas before I think he had like 100. Yeah, Nurk only has 106. Greyfur has 121. So increasing your level will increase your wounds more than, say, toughness, but it helps. We'll give Greyfur another point of strength, because for every 3 points of strength, you increase your carrying capacity. We want our warp guards to be able to carry a lot of Warpstone. So we'll put a point into strength just so that he can now carry 4 items. We'll put a point into, I would think, alertness, because we want his initiative up. And we will also put a point into weapon skill to increase his parry chance and melee hit chance. No, you know what? We'll put a point into accuracy, so he will hit more often. We still have one more point, I just realized, so we'll put a point into weapon skill as well. Apply. There we are. So his parry chance is 20%. At some point, this will eclipse his dodge chance, especially when we outfit him with more armor. So he has a skill point because he has obviously gained a level, and we can not outfit him with skills, apparently, because every 2 levels you unlock a skill. My mistake. I think you get a skill point for increasing a level, and it costs 2 skill points to gain a level, or every 2nd level you get 2 skill points. I'm not entirely sure how it works now that I think about it, so please disregard. The point is that we cannot train a skill for Greyfur, but you can see here that it will cost gold to do so when the time comes. In addition, it will take time, so you can see learning time 3 days for some end level skills, end game skills I should say, so you have to, devote time for your troops to learn new skills, so you have to have backup troops, etc., etc. A little bit more management. Skit Stab, we will increase his strength, so he also gains a carrying capacity. Another item slot. We will increase his alertness. Well, yeah, we'll increase his alertness to raise his initiative, rather. And we will also increase his accuracy and his weapon skill. There we are. And Nurk Greyfur, unfortunately, does not have as many points, but we will also increase his We'll increase his toughness, actually, and then we will increase his accuracy. There we are. And that's about it for this episode. When we come back... Actually, no, you know what? We can hire another little vermin. So we can get Catalyst Mankiller here, which is a sweet name. We'll hire him. I won't customize him right now. Oh shit, Captain. What is that? Recruit 50 warriors. Holy shit. I've apparently recruited 50 warriors over my playtime. But when we come back next episode, Mankiller will be customized. He'll be part of the crew. I'll probably outfit him similar to Skitstab. I might give him a spear, or give Skitstab a spear, because spear, stab, you get it. And then Mankiller can probably dual wield or something. That'd be great. But I'm going to end it here, so thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. That was a really good mission. Please leave a like, please leave a comment if you enjoyed. Check out my social media, that's Twitter, Facebook, someday a subreddit. And I will see you guys with my next episode.